do you feel overwhelmed by the amount of things that you need to get done? Right? Have you ever wished you had more time for gaming without sacrificing the other aspects of your life? Well, I believe you don't have to give up gaming just to get more done, right? So today we're going to be diving into why time management is so important for gamers and the fact that you already have the foundation of this time management skill set because of the games you play. So so stay tuned with me. We're gonna unravel these secrets on how to balance gaming, work, responsibility, while still having your precious downtime. So let's get into it. Hey guys, I'm Daniel. Thank you so much and welcome to Dragon War XP, where we empower gamers with the skills they need to succeed through the games they play. I believe that everyone who plays games, all of your gaming experience is just contributing to your success and your personal growth. So with that, today we're going to be getting into time management. And time management, I'm talking more than just productivity hacks that you see online. We're really talking about a system, like a framework of just how you balance all the to-dos, all the stuff that you need to get done while still having time to enjoy yourself, right? It's really about this time that we all have that doesn't change, doesn't go away. It's it's always moving forward. All the adages, right? We all have the same 24 hours in a day. So how come some people get more done? And really, it's about having this kind of effective time management system. And what I want to share with you guys is that as gamers, we actually already have a foundation of these task management, of time management already kind of built in because of the gaming. And so what I want to help share with you today is how to bring that out, how to share with you where to go on your personal journey as far as time management because of the games you play, right? And so taking one of the big examples, I guess, from MMOs, right? Any MMO that you play, whether it's WoW, Final Fantasy, it's a gazillion of them, right? And there's the term grinding, right? When you're grinding, whether mostly in MMOs, but there's plenty of single player games too, like RPG type stuff where you have to grind for materials or levels or whatever you're grinding in an MMO. You're actually using some amount of time management. And by that, I mean, you don't just grind to just grind, right? You want to have the fun of the grinding is that you're trying to get to a certain place, a certain level, a certain item, a certain whatever, and you're trying to do it as quickly as possible. And you have this kind of sense of, looking through different options as far as what to grind, where to grind, what you're actually doing has been determined that you've come to this conclusion based on these certain parameters. So what you're actually doing is prioritizing, which is a big part of productivity and time management, is understanding where the priorities are to get you where do you want to go faster, right? So as a fun example, so back when I played World of Warcraft, this was back Burning Crusades, so just to give you a date. So it's been a little while, but they had PvP arena gear, right? It was a thing where you had to participate in these arena matches, and you had to participate in whatever it was, 10 matches or something, just to qualify for the week to get arena points. And then you could spend those on the cool looking gear that I wanted. Now, this was out around the same time that I was going back to school to get a full-time MBA, right? So not the night class thing, but full-time, full immersion, all day MBA classes. So I didn't really have a lot of time to work with, right? It got so bad that we had because we're all in different teams doing projects. It got so bad one time that we had to have a meeting with my team. I scheduled a meeting for 11 p.m. for a project that was due at 8 a.m. the next day. So time management is great, right? So we were able to get that project done. Cool. But I didn't really have a lot of time to work with, but I still wanted this arena gear. So I did have to cut back a lot of the hours that I spent playing, but I still tried to play when I could, and I still really wanted this gear. And so I had to make sure to allocate the right amount of time. And I said, what is the minimum amount of effort that I need to get this arena gear while still actually keeping my grades up in my MBA? And found that just, the simple solution was all I need to do is the 10 matches. Even if I lost all 10 matches, you still get some arena points, and over time that would accumulate so that I could buy the gear that I wanted. So I scheduled some time with my friends that were playing, and we made sure to do our 10 arena matches. And so I was able over weeks, right? Took the time, especially getting the minimum amount, losing most of our matches because we were not optimized. We had terrible like classes for the arena stuff. We just played what we wanted to, but we finally did it. And I remember people in the game asking like, "Oh, how'd you get this gear? How'd you get this gear?" And it's like, well, you have to do the arena stuff. And like they were a lot of people would ask and they were impressed, and it was just like, wow, you must have spent a lot of time, grinding arena stuff. I'm like, not really. you, if you find the right way that you can do it super easily, it might just take longer real world time, but you can get there with the least amount of effort possible. So these are these kind of time management sort of tactics and prioritization. If you want something, you can find the least amount of effort to do it to get what you want, right? So as gamers, we kind of figured this out. So okay, so how do we do that in, I guess, the real world? How do we do this outside of gaming, right? Because practical strategies for setting, whether it's gaming schedules, adding these kind of limits, prioritizing tasks. It's all about adopting these kind of systems or these time management productivity systems. And for this is where it gets interesting because not everyone is the same, right? Because some people have more time or less time, right? There's different times of your life, right? Like when I was in my MBA, I'm done with that now, so I don't have to have meetings at 11 p.m. anymore. So that's nice. But planning out what you're going to do in your gaming sessions is also something that I've seen other people do. I've had a friend that was also has his job, and he had kids and was like really busy, so he didn't have a whole lot of time, but he was really interested to play the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild when it came out. And he could only play in like shorter bursts of time, I guess, between family and kids. And so he would do something where he would basically pick kind of when he went into the gaming session what his kind of operation mode was. It's like, all right, I'm going to just explore today. And he would just go around and he'd hit up like all the shrines, and like he would unlock them, right? Because they unlock his teleport points, if you remember from that game. And he would just kind of explore around and just wander around and have fun. But he wouldn't actually do the puzzles of the shrines. He would save those because those, he knew what he wanted. He was like, this is what I'm going to do today. And then the next day when he's like, okay, I want to progress more, I'm only going to do the shrines. Like he would go to each one of them and then do the puzzles. He's like, I feel like doing puzzles today. So he'd go through and do each of those, that he'd already unlocked. And I thought this was really fascinating because, for me, it was like, no, as soon as I got to one, I immediately had to do the puzzle because it was like, I was worried I'd forget and not look at it again. But everybody works a little bit differently is what I'm trying to say, is that just because you think of it one way or that I think of it one way doesn't mean that you can't do it differently. So with that in mind, we do have a little something for you. So what I thought was interesting to share is this. So this is Todoist.com, not affiliated with it anyway, but I do use it as kind of a task manager sort of system, right? Tracking all your to-dos or whatever. This page in particular, and I'll have the link down in the description as well. I would definitely check this out. This is which productivity method is right for you. So we've heard about different productivity methods. I bet you've heard of a bunch. This site and this particular, you can take the quiz to find out. And I've taken this. It's really cool. Since everybody's different, you might have a completely different system that works for you. So this goes through a bunch of differences, and you can open these up and link to these, and it'll give you more of a description of what they are. But Getting Things Done, that's by David Allen. That's been a popular one for years. He's got a book on it, just about collecting a whole bunch of tasks and trying to get through them. Kanban, I think, was popularized by Toyota. So automotive car company trying to be as streamlined and efficient as possible, moving through a system. Time blocking is just making chunks of time on your calendar to get things done. Eating the Frog is about prioritization, just getting like one thing done a day, and even if it's just one thing, like what's the biggest thing that's going to help you. Pomodoro, you might have heard, is like, I think it's the set a timer, 25 minutes of like solid work, 5 minutes of break, and you just kind of alternate that just to make sure that you're staying on task. The Eisenhower matrix, that's the 2 by 2 uh, grid as far as like urgent versus importance. So that's a pretty popular one I've seen in a lot of businesses, and there's a few others that I haven't even heard of that are down here. But I do recommend take the quiz and find out which one Todoist thinks that works for you. Just as an example, I went through the quiz. Mine came out to eat the frog, and based on my personality, how I think about time, like it makes a lot of sense because this particular one is low commitment, which yeah, at least as far as how I play games and everything, it's how do I, like I said with the WoW arena example, what's the least amount of effort time that I can put in to get the maximum amount of reward. So that kind of screams low commitment to me. Procrastination, definitely been a procrastinator, so I bet a lot of gamers are, so this one might work for you too. And it really is about prioritization. It's just taking the whole list of things that you need or want to do and say, which of these are important? Which of these do I have to get done? And it sucks, but you have to do that one thing, i.e. you have to do the thing that sucks, eat the frog. So more recently, I've tried to add on to the system and try to get a little more structure around it. So I've done things like I've tried to incorporate also the getting things done as kind of the task manager side of it. And there's definitely ones on here there's ones that aren't even on here. So I do like also Tony Robbins' RPM or rapid planning method. It's not even listed here, and that's another one for kind of like a high level as far as like kind of life goals, like where do you see yourself going, and making sure that you're focused on the right things at that kind of high level, that kind of life goal level. And that pairs really well with getting things done as kind of the lower level task manager. But what works great for me too is making sure that I stay on task and not just go down a rabbit hole or the shiny object syndrome and just like, oh, what's that? No, eat the frog is great for that. No, you got to do one thing at least every day just to move forward. So I would definitely take this quiz, see what works for you. Like I said, there's definitely a combination that are working for me right now, and it's definitely helped. And a lot of this, like I said, is because I started with gaming. It's because I started with this kind of, whether it's grinding gear in WoW, whether it's, making sure that I have enough time to do all the little, puzzles and whatever things that I'm trying to do in the game. That's kind of the foundation that says, all right, you know how to spend time to enjoy yourself in a game. Now it's how can we pull this out and we can craft it in a way that says, okay, outside of gaming, what is the same thing? What are like the objectives? Where do you want to go? What is it you want to do? How much time do you have? It's a lot of things that you don't really think about in the games, but that's what I'm trying to help pull you out of that to say, all right, look at how you're spending your time with games and how that can be applied to the real world. And I think something like this Todoist quiz that you can take will help you set up in the right way to say, this is where you want to go. This is how you can get the most out of your time with a product management or time management type program or framework. So really it's time management. I just want to be crystal clear, is it's not about sacrificing your gaming time, right? So in my NBA example, I know I had unfortunately I couldn't play as much as I wanted just because of the priority is school, right? But for the most part, it's not about giving it up, right? So even as difficult as it was, even as much time as I spent on that schooling, I still had time for games. And I think a lot of the world, a lot of society is pushing this now that you're an adult, you don't have time for games anymore. Just give that up. That's a kid's thing. And I'm here to say it's no. It's not about that. Time management isn't about sacrificing what you love just to get more done. It's not about sacrificing your gaming passion. It's rather about optimizing your time so that you can get more out of your time, get more out of your day, out of your life, out of your gaming sessions, right? How can you get more? How can you do more with the same amount of time? That's really what it's about. So I want you to enjoy your time. I want you to have as much time as you can for gaming. And I think, a time management system, if you go to Todoist.com, you go to the link, really learn about like what time management skills work for you. If you take the quiz, you will be surprised how much more you can get done in the same amount of time. So guys, if you like this, make sure to hit that like button, and hopefully you guys learn a little bit about how time works for us gamers, and really about where you can improve on time management skills. Going to Todoist, looking at what you can do there, you will be surprised how much you can get done. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.